Alright, this is the third video about these things here, and this is now what the U.S. is doing during this time. Remember, domestically we're going through the Great Depression, but what are we doing with the formation of totalitarian governments and the gulags and the civil wars? Remember, we're seeing this kind of a mediator here. What are we doing? And we're about to cover all of those things here in just 1 second. So, long story short, if you remember, return to normalcy in the 1920s, it's the policy of isolationism. We go back to minding our own business and basically, hey, if they want to kill themselves, that's fine. That's not us. And here you keep out of Europe, right? So isolationism is the name of the game, and ultimately that's what we're claiming. Now, also at this time we have the Nye Committee. The Nye Committee was a committee made up of Senator Gerald Nye and some other people. Basically, they wanted to discover what businesses profited from war. And basically, they only discovered the only ones who made war were the arms and the weapon industries. So they felt that they had been tricked into getting involved into World War I, and thereby really going to stick to this whole idea of isolationism and not getting involved. Okay. We passed a series of neutrality acts, which I'll actually cover later on when we kind of review all these things. But basically, the neutrality acts said we were going to stay out of the war because it doesn't involve us. Now, an American actor who was very famous at the time named Charlie Chaplin, silent actor, actually produces a movie called The Great Dictator. This was to get America aware of what Hitler was doing in Germany, and it was done all in tongue-in-cheek, and I'll show you some clips in class. They're outwardly hilarious. They're really good. I mean, down to this emblem of the double cross. He's double-crossing the people. His name was Adenoid Henkel, same initials as Adolf Hitler. He's mistreating the Jews and all kinds of stuff, and the whole purpose was show America what he's doing in a humorous light so they get involved. But still not getting involved, but nonetheless is a great movie. Now in 1936, the Olympics were actually held in Berlin, and this is Hitler's chance. I'll talk more about it in the Holocaust when I talk about the Aryan race, but he feels like the Aryan race is superior, and this is his chance to show it. However, there's an American named Jesse Owens who happens to be African American. There was a great movie out called Race. He wins a gold medal, a couple of them actually. And so this actually showed that the Aryans weren't superior. Now this was actually really interesting because Jesse Owens said that later on in life he was actually treated fairly well by the Nazis. Maybe even better than he was treated here. So that's just kind of a different standpoint, but it doesn't work nonetheless. And so now I will say that if you can ever find pictures of this, seeing the swastikas up there with the Olympic flag is off-putting and just very crazy, given what we now know about the Nazis. We didn't know that at this time, okay? Now in 1940, we have the election, and the big discussion was, is FDR going to run again? We had a two-term tradition, thanks to George Washington, that said you should only run 2 terms. Well, and you can see a lot of the things, no man is good 3 times, ex-dictator, etc. FDR announces, I'm going to run for a 3rd term. And so as he does, and he runs against Wendell Willkie, and he wins, he breaks his 2-term tradition. A lot of people are nervous about this. So after he is deceased, because the fact that somebody did challenge this, the 22nd Amendment is passed, and it says that you can only serve 2 terms, and 2 twos, 2 terms, and that's it. So because of FDR, that amendment is there. So 20, 21, 22, I call those the FDR amendments. They're basically all about him. Lastly, we have to bring up Dr. Seuss. Now, Dr. Seuss is, of course, known as a great child's author, but here in the World War II era, he gets to start making political cartoons about everybody. And there's a great University of California at San Diego, I believe, website that has them categorized by country, by year, by person. And we'll look at some of those in class, and I've got some in the packet for you. But here's one talking about isolationism. You can see the little Hitler bird down there chomping the tree, even has the Hitler mustache. While America's saying, oh, when he gets to me, he's not going to worry about me. Again, talking about isolationism. So that is, those 3 videos are about the world in flames and our kind of response. The next series of videos will be about World War II beginning. Okay?